Good morning, folks. You're tuned into Car Connection, where the coffee's strong, the stories are real, and the wrenches never stop turning. I'm your host, Dial Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you from the Car Connection Workshop, where the smell of fresh oil, a little elbow grease, is all part of our balanced breakfast. Around here, we don't just talk cars, we live them. Whether it's a 25-year-old Jeep Wrangler getting a second chance at life, a Nissan Rogue getting its brakes back in order, or a mystery leak that's got everyone scratching their heads. This is where we roll up our sleeves and get it done with a little wit, a little wisdom, and a whole lot of fun. The Car Connection isn't just about nuts, bolts, and diagnostics. It's about connection. Connection to our vehicles, to the people who drive them, and to the community that keeps Niagara rolling. Because when you fix a car, you're not just turning a wrench, you're restoring someone's confidence, freedom, and maybe even their sanity. We're here every week, Monday through Saturday, with the Motormouth Morning Drive at 8 a.m., helping you keep your ride safe, reliable, ready for whatever road lies ahead. So whether you're a weekend wrencher, a daily commuter, or someone who just wants to understand what that strange rattle really means, welcome aboard. Stick around for shop talk, expert advice, and a few good laughs, and maybe a flashback story or two. Well, good morning to you, and welcome aboard. If you're joining us for Motormouth's Morning Drive for the very first time, we welcome you. And you're on donut duty for the next 30 days. Just saying, that's the initiation program that we have incorporated into the Car Connection Workshop. Well, if you're just slipping through the drive-thru, grabbing your favorite morning bevy and the side dish, whatever that may be, a snack, well, lock that cup down. We're going to have a swiggy together in just a few minutes, and if you're not familiar with that, we raise a cup together, count it down, 3, 2, 1, and have a swiggy together. It's kind of like starting the day together. So keep an eye on the road and your co-pilot, if you have one. Slide over that pack of 16 Crayola crayons and a brand spanking new leaf bag so that he can, it's not really a leaf bag, it's a Car Connection Workshop laptop. Yes, and the crayons are the stylus, but you just have to press hard and take notes. So we have a lot to get through in a short time to get there. Spring is trying to sprung, but it's not doing a very good job just yet. But at least, you know, we still got to see the snow again yesterday here on the south shores of Lake Erie. I'm not too sure about where you are and where you're listening from, but you can grab our podcast from our YouTube channel. Every day, the morning drive uploads to our YouTube channel. And I'll tell you where all that information is in case you're joining us for the very first time. How do we connect and how do we stay connected? Because now, with more ways to watch, listen, and engage, you know, cars don't break when it's convenient. You ever notice that? They break when it hurts. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And I've got some stories to tell you that are real world stories. Absolutely. If you think that the vehicles I drive are bulletproof, it's not true. Stuff happens, and right now we're going through the 4 vehicles that we use to run errands, grab parts, and the like. They all need stuff. Every single one of them so far has needed stuff that has to get done. And even though you could hop in any one of them and turn the key, we only had one that passed out, and it was giving a very, very hard time to get it started. You could get it started if you kind of, you know, hung in there for half an hour. It would start. And it finally got to that point where it was inconsistent for about a year. It'd be a year ago this coming July. And then it just decided to go kafufnik. Done. Now I'm going to let you know what's going on. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too, is how quickly things can gather up on you with your vehicle, and all of a sudden you've got a pile of things that need to be updated, serviced, replaced, adjusted, or just darn right kicked to the curb, one or the other. So let's move along this morning. We've got our morning swiggy coming up. We have the daily weather just right around the corner. How close is it? As close as my hand can get to my iPhone. And we'll see what's going on today. Because yesterday, I was working on a van outside, had one last thing to do to it, and I had no room in the shop. The FJ's in there, and it's down for the count, and parts are arriving, so I've got a lot of work to get done today in the broadcasting side and YouTube and editing videos. All that stuff has to be done today because I lost about 4 hours yesterday catching up on some mechanicals, and we shot quite a few videos yesterday. But you'll have to watch that video. What did we find that was the noise in the right rear of the 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan? It got ugly really fast. But it was sunny out. So I just backed it up to the door, threw a hunk of plywood I have cut specifically for doing that, and then put the floor jack on there and jack that up and take the wheel off and put a jack stand Jimmy under there. Protect yourself. And yeah, the findings weren't good. You're going to need to watch that video because it's another one of those. I had no idea. It was an IDK. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. We didn't know what the noise was. It wasn't sticking out like a sore thumb, but it's two sore thumbs right now in a list of parts. Anyhow, this morning's title, Nothing Stays the Same. You don't know what you don't know. We're going to focus on that a little bit more, and I'm throwing myself into the pile along with our 4 vehicles that hit the road every day, every single day. So, and you got to be prepared for that. Well, let's say thank you to our good friends, Earl and Louise Grant at City Auto Sales and Leasing, for bringing us this morning's podcast. And you can find us on all podcast platforms. So whether it's Podbean or it's Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or any of the smaller podcast networks, type in the search bar Car Connection Workshop. You'll find us. All our programs are now instantly uploading on our YouTube channel. So the biggest drawer in our toolbox, for those joining us for the first time who haven't heard me say this, so people ask me, why do you say it over again? Well, we get new people every day. We get new subscribers every day to the YouTube channel. They don't know their way around just yet, but they'll find it. We got to help them get their feet, right? So on the homepage at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com, you'll find everything on our homepage you'd like to in order to follow us, our next build, repair work, connection with our program partners, and all the platforms that we are available to you on are on the homepage at ccbusnet.com. That's carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. That's another part of Car Connection. I've been building since 1996, creating a business network to connect community to family-owned and operated small and medium-sized businesses. So if you are a business owner, connect with me through email. Would love to know where you are and what products, goods, and service you have. We are reestablishing our Car Connection Business Network. We had an amazing network going until that stupid COVID thing came into town. Don't get me started on that. There's not enough coffee to bring me back to the planet. Trust me. So things fell apart over the course of 4 or 5 years, and now it's time to build it back. And this is Car Connection 2.0, now with more ways to watch, listen, and engage. So on the top right-hand corner of our homepage, you'll see all the links for all the platforms. Our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. That's a website that our very own Skippy, our videographer, has put together. And I think it's now been running about 7 years. It connects the business owners in Stevensville with the community. And that's exactly what we've been doing for a long time with our Car Connection Business Network, is pull in the small and medium family-owned and operated businesses and connect them to the community through that website, and it becomes a communal website. Well, that's what Skippy's created in Stevensville. I know a lot of folks there. She lives there, grew up there. Their family's there. My parents are there. My mom passed in 2022. My pops is still there. He's 89. And there's just some fantastic eateries and businesses there. So take a moment to check out Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. We are put down as one of the professionals, and Skippy takes care of that for us as well. And you can email me through there. Our iHeartRadio icon is there also on the top right-hand corner of the page. And our awesome online merch store is there as well. All proceeds go to help those battling addiction, to get to a total freedom addiction campus in Canada and USA, where a new life meets them there. It's not a program. It's a full, hardcore life change. And they have great success with all those, all ages, that have struggled for many years with addiction to finally break free. So when you buy some, grab some merch in our online store, that's where the proceeds are going to. And Freedom Expressions has put that store together for you. It's one part of what they do at Total Freedom, Darien Center, New York. They have a boutique. They have Freedom Automotive. They have the kitchen, which is a meal takeout window. They don't receive any government funding whatsoever, and they don't want to. So they've created ways to help those who are going through that change at Total Freedom get back into the working field and actually earn a wage right on the campus. So that's part of the facility. And all the proceeds from those separate entities, and they have the most beautiful veggie garden that they use the fresh vegetables in the commercial kitchen and the takeout window. How cool is that? So they're self-contained. So anything we can do to help to get that next person there, it's everything. It's absolutely everything. So take a look at Total Freedom, Canada and USA. You just have to click on their logo. But thank you to Earl and Louise Grant for coming alongside us this morning, providing us with our morning swiggy. Let's get into that. Low mileage quality vehicles at fair prices. Earl and Louise Grant, our husband-wife team, over 25 years. And let me tell you, they're car guys. They don't bring any junk in onto their lot or into their building whatsoever. You will find vehicles there that are absolutely spotless. They look like new. If you're looking for something specific, Earl and Louise Grant can save you 1,000 steps. Why? Well, they have the resources to find those low mileage, top quality vehicles. So you can buy with confidence and be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity. That's City Auto Sales and Leasing. Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store. So let's have our morning swiggy together. You ready? Bought you a little time in case you were still sitting in the drive-thru. And remember, never try to reverse in the drive-thru. I'm just saying, it gets ugly fast. Ready on 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Ginger really does something to it. But I can't wait for coffee. But I start my morning with my herbals. Seems to help, so I'm just going to continue on that platform. The honey is local that's in there. It's absolutely delicious. Delicious. Yeah, it's amazing. Outstanding. Well, let's take in the morning weather and see what we're going to have thrown at us today. We had everything and a bag of chips yesterday here on the south shores of Lake Erie. So thank goodness the sun was shining when I had to take the wheel off that 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan. Yeah, thank you to Niagara Block at 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, bringing the morning weather forecast to us. Building Canada since 1931 with building supplies, metal, rebar, you name it, they have it there. They don't have lumber, just so you know. It's all the heavy-duty stuff when it comes to building projects. They have everything you'll need from soup to nuts to create that outdoor hardscape landscaping oasis that you've always wanted. And Kathy Grimo she has a list of contractors, so if you need a referral to estimate the job, design the job, start the job, and finish the job so you can enjoy that outdoor living space you've always wanted, that's where you can get it all done. That's at Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls. They're on our website. They're one of our program partners. And thank you to Dave, Kathy, and Dan from Grimo for making this podcast possible for you guys out there. So check in with them. All our programs are available on the homepage at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. Just click on their logo to meet them. And thank you times 10 for giving them your business. Well, here's what we got. Let's read it and laugh, perhaps. We're trying to get to the 30-day fuel savings challenge so we can put some money back in your pocket. How about an extra $100 that you could set aside? Maybe pay down some debt with that. How about doing the second part of the 30-day challenge and doubling that and making it about $200? And if you're interested in keeping your vehicle long-term, keeping that engine transmission running forever, you are on the right podcast, because that's my specialty. I can help you to make that happener. No problem. Very shortly here, we will have our Car Connection fleet maintenance system. I got to check that out today. That's on my to-do list. See if we have our profile page up for that, and we have special pricing for those who are subscribed to our YouTube channel. So if you're enjoying the videos, please do Skippy and I a favor. We put a lot of time into it. All the platforms. She's putting new reels up for Facebook and Instagram. And I caught her yesterday. I turned and she goes, "Oh, you weren't supposed to look." Like, at what? At me. I was shooting a reel. Oh, I didn't get that memo. Well, here's what we got today. If you stick around long enough, you will laugh and spill your coffee. 32 degrees right now. Mostly clear. Wind is making it feel colder, about 24. Cloudy conditions from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. with partly cloudy conditions expected at 1 p.m. And today's temperature range is from 31 degrees to 54 degrees. Feels more like 23 degrees to 49 degrees. So the high for today, you ready? 54 degrees. What? Oh my goodness. We got to get to 60, at least 65, and hold it to do the 30-day fuel savings challenge. What do we got for precipitation? Well, it looks like not too shabby. 0.05 of an inch. Can we deal with that? Sort of, kind of, maybe. Yeah. We'll just have to put up with it until we get our own planet. This is it. This is what we got. So, all right, let's move on. This morning we got to get out of here on time today, otherwise the whole world's gonna fall apart around me. Yes, around me. I got so much to catch up on. And that's what happens. It's springtime. The vehicles come in, go through them one at a time. And you know what? It's amazing what you find. And you're thinking, wow, I think it was doing pretty good. Till it comes in the shop. And then all of a sudden it's hell in a handbasket. It's like, what? No gravy? Come on. That can't happen. Okay, so here it is. This morning's topic. I've written it up just for you and me. Nothing stays the same. And that is so true. And if you think you made it through winter with your car without any problems, if I were a betting man, I would say there's something not quite right. And I think we said that on the J-Bean. Something was not quite right, and then some other stuff. But I just have to diagnose the O2 sensor. We have a HEGO, heated exhaust gas organizer. I didn't have time for it. We got the car back up and running. We got the snowies off, the summies on, checked the brakes, lubed the brakes up, did a walk around. All the lights are good. Fluids are right up to speed. And what else do we take care of? Oh, yeah. It got a fuel pump. That's what finally said, I'm going to start letting you know I'm going south now. So last summer, it left us stranded on the side of the road. Well, I wasn't in it. My friend was in there. And get a call. Here's the address where it is. My friend Kathy picked me up in, Keys Under the Mat. Okay. So I go out there. It's a hot, steamy day in July. I pull the back seat, get down to the wiring, and I'm testing with my voltmeter. I got ground, I got power, and then the car starts. Okay. So now what? All vital signs are good. I shut it off. I started a dozen times without any issue. What do you fix? And then it hasn't done it since. Well, apparently it may have happened. We're not 100%. It may have happened one more time since then. But now it was finally like half an hour it wouldn't restart, which tells me. And then I got it to do that right here at the shop. So then I was able to see that the crankshaft sensor, by cranking it over and looking on my scan tool, if I see RPM, engine RPM, then the crank sensor's reading the fact that the engine's turning over. So I can share all that kind of stuff later, but it just shows you how quick things can go the other way. Because you don't know what you don't know if you're not taking the time to book your vehicle and have someone check it over. You'll be surprised. And yesterday's video, you're going to want to watch that one when it comes out. It's going to be a couple of weeks before we get to that one. But my goodness, what we found on the back of the 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan, there's a bunch of stuff there going on. And it's deep. It's elbow deep. Yeah, not elbows up. We don't talk about that here. That's just dumb. Yeah. Beauty fades, but dumb is forever. Yeah. So the parts cannon has to definitely be shot at the Grand Caravan because there's lots going on. So you'll have to watch that video and you'll see it in real time as it unfolded. And at the end of it and putting the wheel back on and torquing the wheel nuts, there's now a list of things, stuff that's broken, stuff that's seized, things that are not really working, but they're there. You'll have to catch up with that video. So peace of mind definitely starts with being in the know. And here's how. You know, I often talk about there's two ways to own a car. And it's true. You can own it with the blinders on and wait until, like on the FJ, the 2007 FJ, if I had not called it the way I heard it, it would have been an absolute disaster. We just filmed that, the 2 segments yesterday on the FJ and brought you right into what was going on there. That enlightened me that it wasn't just going to be a spring evaluation. There's going to be some serious work that had to be done. And what was discovered by just a chirping sound, which I've heard before, we bought the 2007 Toyota FJ Cruiser from the original owner. out in Wolf Island, out in Kingston. Nice lady, nice family, very nice family. And they inherited a vehicle through passing of a family member, a behemoth of a vehicle, I have to say. One of the original Ford Excursions. They were monstrous. Yeah, I called those the behemoth. So they didn't need the FJ anymore. Thank you. That worked out just nicely. And we're taking really good care of it. So it had 152,000 original kilometers on it when I bought it. That was December 27th, 2013. And now we have, we're about 55,000 kilometers from 400 to be a member of the 400K miles club. So anyways, I heard this chirping. It was on a Sunday afternoon. And I'm going, and a lady sees me in the parking lot. I got the hood up. Is everything, an elderly lady, she says, is everything all right, mister? And I go, no, I got trubs. She goes, oh, I think it's just a belt. You just need to put some soap on it. My husband was good for that. He passed away many years ago, but I've heard that sound before, and he would just put soap on the belt. I go, I'm afraid to say I would hope that the soap would be the cure, but in this case, I believe that the problem's a little deeper than that. She goes, well, how do you know? I said, because I've heard it before. Oh, what was it? I said, the alternator. I said, this truck goes through an alternator about every 100,000 K. For whatever, well, I know what the reason is. The alternator's down low, and that's why when I tell you, don't go pounding through these puddles, don't do it. Don't do it. Your starter motor is hanging down there like low-hanging fruit. Your alternator may be down low like it is on the FJ Cruiser. It's right at the bottom of the front of the motor, right towards the road splash side. So the thing gets corroded. Can't help it. It just does. It takes road splash all year round. So what are you going to do? So what happened was, I don't know if I should tell you or not. No, I think you should watch the video. You really should. You should watch that video. Anyhow, if I will tell you this. If I had not just drove it home from where I was and parked it and then got on the phone with the Napper guys and said, hey, this alternator's got serious issues. Have you got one? This is the lifetime warranty alternator. I got smart after the first one. First one cost me about $430, I think it was, $432 bucks. And then that one went down, and that's when I said, if I'm buying another one, I want the lifetime warranty alternator. So that's what I did. So this one would have cost me over $700. Yikes. But it cost me nada. That's how you have to work smart. And if I'm working for you and teaching you, that's what I'm going to teach you. If you got to step up to the plate, and I've got another story on that too, coming up in just a moment. So hang in there. Is you want to buy parts, if the opportunity to get lifetime, not like lifetime from car manufacturers, lifetime is 3 years, 60,000 K, whatever comes first, and then that's it, you're out the door. Lifetime is as long as you own the vehicle, as long as I own that vehicle, that alternator's covered. How sweet is that? Yeah, so even though I had to sock down the cake the first time around and the second time around, from here on in, it's gravy. Exactly. So that's what I do. I search parts. Yesterday, I spent about an hour after everything was uploaded ordering parts for the FJ, finding a deal. Thermostat. Yeah, Toyota doesn't manufacture thermostats. It's vendored out. Okay, so that's what you have to know. Parts are created by vendors. And I know that because I did warranty for Volkswagen for quite a while. 4 years and 80 hours a week. It was part of my job description at the time. So anyways, vendors on every part, on every automobile, there's what's called a vendor code. So whatever the component is, there's a code on that part that I would have to write that down on the warranty claim so they know who to charge the repair back to if it's an undercover, if it's a covered warranty repair. So then the vendor has to pay back Volkswagen in this case for that failed component and the labor. So they get charged back for that. So that's what a vendor code is. So I called the dealer. I thought, I like to keep the FJ all Toyota if I can. But, there comes the point where you have to say, if I can buy a really good top quality part and save a load of buckses, I'm going to do it. It's too bad. It's so sad. But if they can't bring the prices down, you know what? And I had a great conversation with the dude. So I thought, I'm online and I've got thermostats in my vision. Yeah, visions of thermostats and housings in my vision. It sounds like a Christmas something. Wasn't it Sugar Plum Fairies dancing in your head? That's just way too weird. Yeah. So I call the parts department. Get ready for this one. They didn't have it in stock. They'd have to order it. $165. And I'm online while I'm talking to the gentleman in the parts department. I go, wow, I never anticipated that one. He goes, it is kind of pricey, isn't it? I said, well, I'm online right now. I said, and the cheapest one you can buy is $29. I said, but then there's a couple of manufacturers that I recognize on the site. Either one I'd be happy with. And he goes, oh, yeah, those are good companies. How much are those? I said, well, the top drawer one's $65. And the next one's $58. I said, and then the next one is $36. I go, Toyota doesn't make thermostats. It's a vendor that does it for them to their specs. That's how it works. Yeah, they build the car, but they don't make all the parts. Not all of them. He goes, I'd do that if I were you. That's what he said to me. I go, well, I'm sorry, but you know what? In this economy, the money ain't flying like birds. We got to cut where we have to, and this makes sense. I said, I'm going to have to go with that. So I'll talk to you another time. Yeah, thank you for calling. Appreciate it. Sorry we couldn't help you out. So that's how that goes. And that happens pretty much every day here because we're shooting video, putting parts on, taking parts off, shooting videos, showing you what it is, where it is, how it works, how it breaks, and what and how you could have learned as some very basic automotive repair and service fundamentals to keep that vehicle, your older vehicle, running as long as you want. As long as the structure isn't rotted out, everything else is changeable, repairable, adjustable, serviceable. That's it. That's all you have to know. So that brings me to your automobiles. How are they doing? So I've already shared the 09 J-Bean. That's a Hyundai Accent. It had challenges. Stuff going on. Actually, the Rocket wasn't bad. The 99 Honda Civic DX wasn't bad. We just had to redo the brakes on the right rear because somebody drove it with the handbrake on with brand new brakes and wheel cylinders. Just saying. Was not I. But it happened. So I had to redo that side at the back. But that's about it. A service, check the fluids, put on the summies. I was sick and tired of trying every black magic goo and product known to mankind to keep the grill black on it because it makes it look cheesy, and it whited out again. So I'm like, that's it. I'm taking the bumper cover off. But that has nothing to do with something gone wrong. That's just aesthetics, and that's me. I like it. I like them to look good. Yeah. It just makes me feel better, okay? It's a therapeutic thing. So the rocket was good. What did we get to after that? Oh, yeah, we got into the 2010 Grand Caravan. That's got a list of stuff going on at the back. We just fixed the entire front end. You'll have to watch those videos. The grand finale comes up, I believe, this week. On that, the last segment, I'm putting the whole front end back together. It just has to have an alignment. But we had a noise. So we took it out, recorded the noise, and we shot that video as well. So you could, came along for the road test with me, and Skippy was driving. My life flashed before me just once or twice, 3 times actually. And we made it through that. And then yesterday we dove into it to see, well, what are we up against? Well, now there's another whole list of parts on that one. So that's a spring maintenance. And then getting into I brought the FJ in, I think it was Friday, late Friday, and got going on it Saturday. And that was when things kind of escalated into a number of items that needed to be serviced. So you'll have to watch the videos on those, but it uncovers things. And that's what you need to do at this time of year, is not sit back and just go, everything's got to be fine, right? Probably not. But you're better to be in the know than not, because you don't know what you don't know. And with the FJ, I will tell you this. If I had just kept driving it and going, oh, it doesn't sound too bad. Everything seems to be okay, honey. Yeah, the alternator would have come away from the engine, attached to the serpentine drive belt while the engine's running. So in the video, I explain all of that, and you get to see what I'm talking about. And then you'll see the catastrophic damage that would have occurred. It's not a if. It would have occurred because it was coming off. It had broke. Yeah. Completely. So the chirping was the belt was not in the right position exactly. So you gotta jump on this stuff. And I'll say this again, and I've said it many times before. Ladies, you are fantastic at spotting, hearing, smelling the car when something's not quite right. And you're fabulous at describing the noises. Fellas, they don't care. Honestly, they don't. Till it breaks down, and then you know what? Every colorful metaphor they can possibly think of comes out times 10, and then they're embarrassed. Probably not. But for you, you don't want to be stranded on the side of the road. You know, that's a very compromising thing, especially for a woman. Where it happens, how it happens, and if you don't get a good Samaritan coming along, there's kooks out there. I'm just saying. There's just a few kooks out there, and we got to be careful this day and age. So peace of mind driving starts with being in the know. And that's why we are a prime example. We do that same thing that we're doing right now. We go through the vehicles that have been used all winter, check them over, let's get them tight and right and out the door. And then they're taken care of. The next series will be the vehicles we use for going to car shows and fundraising events, and helping to make awareness of nonprofit faith-based organizations like Crystal Ridge Dream Center, serving men, women, and children meals, love, and hope throughout the Niagara region. And if you can do anything to help them, they're struggling to keep the meals up. Last week, they actually had to put a sign on the door. They ran out of food. So they feed on Tuesdays. So today is a feed day out the door, hot meals, and then Friday again. So check them out on our website. Any gift over $25 gets a tax receipt. But if there's anything you could possibly do to help them, they would really appreciate it, and it would be well received and also receipted. Like I said, $25 or more. In these times, it's just showing that they're feeding about close to 300 meals from 260. So they have a fundraiser coming up. Check out their website. I'm going to buy my ticket today for the roast beef dinner. It's being put on by the Lions Club on behalf of the Crystal Ridge Dream Center, and I'll tell you, it will be yummy. And then they're having a vintage record sale. They're holding that right at the Dream Center. That's coming up in May, and it's going to be silent auction, barbecue, a whole pile of stuff going on. I believe that's May something or other. I haven't checked it myself, but I'll probably go down to that as well. And so the beef dinner, the roast beef dinner is coming up quickly. So jump on their website by simply clicking on the logo for Crystal Ridge Dream Center, and you can interact e-transfer to get your tickets. It'll sell out. I can tell you that right now. It will sell out. So we need to do whatever we can to help them out. And that's what we do with our I call them our tools, and they're not toys, they're tools. We take the cars out. We have to, now to get into car shows, we need a car specific to the show itself, because it's a class, not the math class, thank goodness for that. But each car show is a class now. So if it's imports, only way you can register, it's got to be an import. If it's a British car show, you have to have something European, and it could be just a European class. So that means it's got to be a European made car. If it's muscle cars, it has to be a muscle car, and it may be category maybe Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, GMC. Okay? So this is what's changed in that world, but thank goodness in 32 years of Car Connection, we've had some really nice vehicles donated, and we've brought them back to life, and they're part of our car show vehicles, fundraising events, and we let people sit in there, have their picture taken, and just use them to create awareness for the nonprofit faith-based organizations we're tied in with. We're doing our bit, and if you do your bit, we'll all be good. So I leave you with this today. If you haven't picked up the phone yet and booked your vehicle for an evaluation, if you want to keep that vehicle long-term like we do, you got to put your best foot forward. You really do. You got to stay on top of what you don't know. And what I just explained to you are prime examples of a number of those items we did not know. And if we ignored it, the outcome would have been catastrophic. So it's a prime example of better to know if there's something going on than not know. Because when you don't know, that's where I've seen for 44 years, a $200, what would have been a $200 repair escalates into a $5,000 repair very quickly. So you don't want to go down that road. Amen? Right on. Exactly. So get your vehicle booked in now. And we talked about air conditioning for, I think, 4 episodes. So I gave you the whole skinny and wrapped it up yesterday on how to use it properly. Get that checked as well while you have it in there. Get them to review the AC system. And if it's been more than 2 years since an evac and recharge, and the system seems to be working fine, great. But evac and recharge it. The system needs a redo. It will save the compressor, which I haven't priced one this year in 2026, but I can tell you all the parts are on the rise. Just as I explained to you, $165 for thermostat and housing comes as one piece, or $36. That's the one I ordered from a company I know. And that's it. $165 or $36 free shipping. There you go. That's what you got to do to work it. You got to work it, and don't put the cheap stuff on there. because you'll end up doing the job a second time 6, 9, 12 months down the road. We don't want to do that. We don't do practices. That's not a good idea. Although sometimes a part fails and I'll say, well, the first one was a practice. We should get it right this time. You never know. We get parts right out of the box. You can see videos on our YouTube channel. Parts right out of the box that don't work. It's production. So till tomorrow, we'll see you again at 8 a.m. for another Motormouth Morning Drive. Come along and join us. Thank you to our certified financial planning professionals, Tony Miele, Larry Tetro, with IG Wealth Management, 50 years experience as fiduciaries. They're my brothers from other mothers. They are my personal certified financial planners, and I can tell you this. If you have questions, they have the answers. They are certified financial planners. They do tax planning, wills, estates, debt, retirement, looking over your investment portfolio, make sure it's performing the way it should. And if it isn't, they'll tell you how it can be adjusted so that your money's working hard for you, not you working hard for your money. If you need a mortgage setting up, great rates, fantastic gals to work with out in the mortgage department in Winnipeg, fantastic people there, and more. Life insurance, critical illness insurance. Get that hour and a coffee. Leave your wallet and your purse at home. They're not there to sell you anything. They're there to answer your questions. Be totally honest with them and don't waste their time. Okay? Because if you waste their time, you're taking that time away from somebody who really, really needs it. So if any of those areas are of interest, don't look for an opinion poll. Get the answers from a CFP, someone who has the credentials, certified financial planning professional. So until tomorrow morning, drive safe. Keep it under 100. Happy, healthy motoring, peace, patience, and kindness always. And we'll see you tomorrow. Make it a great day. Bye for now.